Right, hello and welcome to this week's Daily Race A, where we find ourselves competing in a Dorito powered automobile. The Mazda RX7 is what we are going to be using in a 5-lap event around Sardegna Road Track B reverse layout, which means with this layout there's going to be a lot of crashes going into the first corner. So with that being said, sit back, strap in and enjoy today's video. With me, I never qualified because I want to see or challenge myself to see how close to first position I can get by the end of the event. So when the lights go green, we see that all of the drivers had a decent start. No one really jumped the gun or anything like that or received a penalty. So we see that the large majority of RX7s gathered to really attack the first corner. Now something I should have paid attention to was that this is not a modified RX7, and because of that the brakes are stock and not what I was expecting, so I went battling into the person in front of me, so not really off to a good start. Then as we progress through the race, we see that we come up, I really don't know the driving lines of the circuit because I haven't driven it in so long, and I find myself in a gravel patch, which is never a good thing. So then we really just work our way now from the back of the pack because we see that we are not having the best of starts to this event, and we can see at least there are other drivers also struggling. But as we just keep chugging along the event, we come across a Mazda RX7 with some battle scars on it, which shows, hey, there is a bit of contact in this non-contact event. So as we see, we progress through this event, making our overtakes every now and then because it was mainly that other drivers were messing up themselves, so we were benefiting from their mistakes. Then we see coming down the hill that the orange RX7 that was behind me for quite some time actually just got punted out of the way, but at least, hey, that ended his race, but luckily not mine. So we carried on attacking, working our way up the grid, and as we just kept climbing and climbing, we then ended up making the overtake to go into 7th position. It was just truly a battle for 7th position, and at times it was a bit daunting, but this battle for 7th did come to an abrupt end when the Italian driver did run a bit wide and ended up in the barrier. So then I wasn't able to actually catch up to 6th, so we remained with our first event finishing off in 7th position. So not really a best start off to daily race A. So second race, we find ourselves starting off in 8th position, a lot better, and as we see, lights go green and there is already a bit of contact. People haven't even crossed the start line yet and there was already an accident. That's what you love about daily race A. So coming into the first corner, once again I slightly misjudged the braking zone, but I knew, okay, I just need to take it slowly, and we see I actually ended up off circuit due to the fact of someone absolutely dive bombing up the inside. So it was all about making up positions and just benefiting from other drivers' mistakes, because as you see ahead of us there is a lot of bumping and grinding. R. Kelly would approve of that. That really slowed the other drivers down, and that's when I knew, okay, as long as I just sat back and took it cleanly, I would be able to benefit and make some really good overtakes. And as you see, this driver ahead of me in 7th position right now, he was struggling a bit. He took a bit of a strange line, and that allowed me to just come up the inside, and we see that there were a lot of other drivers that also had a bit of a moment there, which allowed me to make up 3 positions at once. So that was very beneficial to the overall race. And we see that there were a bit of slipping and sliding in front of us, which meant that driver did slow down quite a bit and allowed me to actually catch up. And we see suboptimal lines from the driver ahead of me, which meant I was in the running to just make a very clean overtake. So now in 4th position, it was really just about getting as close as possible, and we see that around the first corner there was a bit of contact between 2nd and 3rd, then 1st and 2nd. So with me seeing all of that collision happening in front of me, well, I actually didn't notice that the car in front of me braked and I ended up banging into him. So we see that 2nd and 3rd actually collided, which gave me the opportunity to just overtake both of them. So now I'm on the podium in second place, and now it's all about making one more overtake to really seal the deal and allow me to complete the race in first place. But we still have a lot of racing to do, and we see that now I'm up against Ralphie here from the UK, and as you can see, this is where I really only got the closest possible moment to Ralphie, and I actually managed to get the overtake in. So I was in first place for about 5 seconds before I then got bumped off circuit and into the gravel pits. So with me going into gravel, I lost a lot of ground, and I just watched my hopes of finishing this event in first place just run away from me. So after crossing the line in second position with a gap of 4 seconds, almost 5 seconds, I just congratulated the winner, and he had something to say back. So quickly, with that allegation out there, we need to VAR check that. So if we go back into a replay, and we are gonna take a look at the closest moment I ever got to Ralphie in the entire event, and it was this moment right here. So if we see, I come up the inside of Ralphie and give him a lot of gap. I try to go as much on the inside as possible. You can fit at least another RX7 in that gap. So then I jam brakes, I run outside because I said let me give him the inside line, and he turned left when going around a right-hander. So if we slow it down, we can see the exact moment when he says yeah, full lock left, and hits me off into gravel, and that was my hopes of winning out the window. But we're not gonna sit on that. All I know is Ralphie, if I ever see you again, it's on site. Okay, no, that's a joke. Don't take that seriously. Then race number 3, it didn't really go according to plan. It was quite boring, except for this one moment where there was a Tokyo drift scene in front of me. But honestly, I'll be 100% with you here. This was one of the dirtiest races I ever participated in, and that was just on me. I don't know if it was because of this mentality of saying that I got punted. I came into this race a bit more aggressive, and because of that, I really just wanted to make up positions. I actually caught up with Vlad here, 4th position. It was a battle 4th for a very long time, and we see they actually come and make this move around the outside. Then I thought, you know what, let me brake, and there was a little bit of grinding there, nothing major. Then I will admit, this was a filthy, a dirty move on my part. I actually punted him, then I braked, I gave him his position. I didn't feel right taking it like that. Then up the main straightaway, there was contact again because I was running into a grass, needed to come over, and I wasn't getting the room I needed. Then we see I actually finally made the overtake past Vlad, now on the final lap. And after finishing in 4th position, I knew it wasn't the best race. I needed to apologize. We see that according to a game, it was a clean race, but no, I still need to apologize. We can see in the chat, Vlad also said question marks like what happened. Just say my apologies, because look, if I know it was a bad race, I'm gonna apologize for it, and we moved on. So now starting in dead last, we see off the line, bit of a good launch. Everyone else also had decent starts. Then coming up to the first corner, well, it's just absolute carnage as usual. We see bumping and grinding. I braked as hard as possible to not hit anyone. I didn't want any body damage. I didn't want any possibility of my sportsman racing going down. And then I got bumped off circuit. Don't know who was at fault there. I'm not even gonna fight it. And I'm just sliding around the circuit, really experiencing the rear wheel drive oversteer of the RX7. And we see that the RX7, I was able to make a few overtakes by just following a clean, consistent line, and after just making some questionable moves where I just let people know, hey, I am behind you, I am here, so if you make a mistake, I'm gonna take that position. And that's exactly what I did. We see one car in the gravel, 2 cars in gravel, and one completely spinning out, and that put me into the podium position. And then after quite some time, almost an entire lap, in the exact same spot, I then make the overtake to get 2nd position from Yoshi. So after I do that, it is all about hunting down 1st position. And even though 1st position is a whopping 3 seconds, almost 4 seconds ahead of me. It is going to be a daunting task, but let's see if we can get it done. So after focusing and really putting my head down, trying to get the cleanest, the fastest lap possible, and just trying to get as close to first place as possible, yeah, I didn't have enough time, and that resulted in the race ending with first place being almost 7 seconds ahead of me and second place being a whopping 4 seconds behind me. So yes, that was my second position. So daily race A, to summarize it, it's a lot of contact. When it comes to the first corner, you are gonna find a bit of ramming every now and then, but it is quite easy to get onto a podium even if you don't qualify. So with that being said, daily race A, I had a lot of fun. There are a few moments where I learned to improve upon, and honestly just have such a blast with this event. And if you want to see me participate in more daily races, hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next Gran Turismo 7 video. Peace.